Hi everyone, my name is Kendrick and welcome to Travel and Live Free. In this video, we're going to cover my country number 61 to visit every single country in the world, and that country is the UK. I spent a decent amount of time while I was traveling in the UK. The first several days was spent in London, while the remaining of the days I spent in Scotland. When I traveled in London, I went and stayed with a friend. Her name is Rebecca, who I met while traveling and doing volunteer work in Colombia. She got me an inflatable mattress and I slept on the floor of her apartment alongside with all her many roommates. And I used that as my home base to go sightseeing in London. London is a very expensive city, so I had to really ration my finances carefully while I was traveling there. The first place that I visited as a tourist in London is obviously the British Museum. The British Museum is huge. There's so many artifacts from all over the world, and the biggest tourist attraction in the British Museum has got to be the Rosetta Stone, which allowed researchers to translate the Egyptian hieroglyphics into modern language. I did feel overwhelmed while I was checking out the British Museum because there's so many people there, and I actually felt dizzy while I was looking around. So after feeling very exhausted looking around the British Museum, I left that place and I went to check out the Big Ben. The Big Ben is quite interesting when I went there, and there were certainly a lot of tourists that was taking selfies all around the Big Ben area. I also walked around the nearby Buckingham Palace, which is not really a huge sight to see, but since I was already in the area, I figured why not just check it out. The next day, my friend Rebecca was off work, so she decided to show me around. We went to a place called Bricklane and we tried some sandwiches there that this area was famous for, and later on we went and checked out the London bridges all over the city. My last stop in London is the Natural History Museum, and this has got to be my favorite place in London. I love science, and when I went there I got to see the formation of rocks and the planet Earth, and I absolutely loved it. I think the highlight of my time there was seeing this one kid crying when he saw this big T-Rex dinosaur. I thought it was hilarious when he got freaked out by the dinosaur. My next destination after London is gonna be Scotland, and my first stop there is gonna be Edinburgh, where I would be checking out the city. I was blown away when I saw Edinburgh. It's got to be one of the most beautiful cities, if not the most beautiful city I've ever seen while I was in Europe. So of course I checked out the Edinburgh Castle, which I think cost me $27 when converting the pounds to Canadian. Edinburgh Castle was pretty cool. It's a pretty big castle, and after I felt satisfied exploring that place, I went and checked out the Royal Mile. There was a lot of things happening in the Royal Mile when I went there. I think there was a festival happening, and I walked the whole mile all the way to the very end, and it was quite a fun experience. I really loved it. After my time in Edinburgh, I took the bus to go to Aberdeen, and from there I would be meeting my friend Alice, who I met while doing volunteer work in Poland. I would be staying in her family's farm, and her brother and her dad actually picked me up from the bus station and took me back to their farm. It was a nice reunion with my friend Alice as she showed me around in her family's farm. They showed me how they sheared the sheep of the wool, and also how they deliver the sheep to sell them in the markets. One funny thing is that Alice's dad kept calling the neighbor Voldemort because apparently he is pure evil. The brother also showed me around their farm and drove me around, and it was just such a fun experience to get that local farm life. I also got a chance to cook them some Asian food, which they enjoyed because they don't get a chance to eat that kind of stuff while they are in the UK. And later on, they showed me around Aberdeen and also to go hiking in the Muir of Dinnet. We also did a road trip around northern Scotland, and we got a chance to see Braemar Castle, and from there we did an audio tour of this place. We wrapped up that day by getting some delicious British tea and cake, and what a wonderful time to spend while I was in the UK. I would say Scotland is in my top 5 most favorite place to visit in the world, and I would definitely love to go back to Scotland one day and check out Isle of Skye as well as the other cities in that area. Anyways, that's about it for this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your comments below. And don't forget to sign up to the Travel and Live Free newsletter, where you can get a 10-step cheat sheet on how to travel around the world. You'll also get the latest tips and strategies on how to save money on travel for Canadians, how to go on around the world adventure travel for Canadians, and how to use travel to get more freedom in your life as a Canadian. You can sign up for the newsletter in the description below. Until next time, I'll see you then.